Welcome to Jumbo News Global Recap. Let's take a look at what's been happening throughout the week in different parts of the world. A former Gambian soldier, Michael Sang Correa, was convicted in a U.S. court for torture committed during Yahya Jammeh's regime in the Gambia. Correa, a member of the military unit known as the Junglers, was found guilty of conspiracy to torture suspected opponents. This trial marked a rare use of a law allowed prosecution for overseas crimes. Correa was arrested in 2019 for overstaying his visa and charged in 2020. He is the first non-U.S. citizen convicted of torture in federal court under the law. Evidence presented showed that he and his conspirators tortured at least 5 victims using methods like electrocution and smothering. While prosecutors stated that Correa played a significant role in the torture, despite his defense claiming he was a low-ranking soldier following orders. He faces up to 20 years in prison for each count of torture. The case underscores a commitment to holding perpetrators of human rights violations accountable, regardless of where the crimes occurred. In his first speech since leaving office, former President Joe Biden criticized the Trump administration's welfare policies, particularly regarding Social Security. While speaking in Chicago, he described Social Security as a sacred promise and accused the new administration of damaging the system. Biden's comments come amid allegations that the Trump administration plans significant cuts to Social Security, which support about 67 million Americans. While Biden did not mention Trump directly, he expressed concerns about the impact of the new administration actions. Trump's team has claimed he will protect Social Security for legitimate recipients and focus on fraud. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's group is reportedly aiming to cut staff at the Social Security Administration. Biden's speech marks a return to public discourse after a period of low profile since leaving the office. Someone hacked the pedestrian crossing signals in part of the Northern California. They made the signals play fake messages pretending to be Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. This happened in Palo Alto, Redwood City, and Menlo Park. The messages were funny, like Musk offering to buy people a Tesla if they were his friends. Zuckerberg's message was all about AI. About 10 crossings were affected. Engineers are trying to figure out how it happened. To fix it, they turned off the buttons that made the fake messages play and are using a timer instead. Neither Musk nor Zuckerberg has said anything about this issue. Sudan's paramilitary group, the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, has announced the formation of a rival government amid ongoing conflict with the armed forces, marking 2 years into a war that has created a severe humanitarian crisis. RSF leader Mohamed Hamdan Hemedi Dagalo claimed the group aims to build a state of law and provide essential services across the country. Fighting continues with recent army airstrikes on RSF positions near El Fasher, leading to the displacement of hundreds of thousands from the Zamzam refugee camp. The UN reports over 400 deaths in recent attacks, with both the RSF and the army accused of war crimes, including genocide. Since the conflict began, more than 12 million people have been displaced and over 150,000 lives have been lost. Humanitarian conditions are dire, with famine-like situation affecting over 700,000 individuals in temporary camps. During a high-level conference in London, UK, officials pledged additional aid and called for an immediate ceasefire, emphasizing the need for international attention on the crisis. A Russian ballistic missile attack on Sumy, Ukraine, has resulted in at least 34 deaths and 117 injuries, including 15 children, while two Iskander variant missiles struck near Sumy State University on Palm Sunday, causing extensive damage to buildings, including educational institutions and residential areas. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the attack, emphasizing the need for strong international response to Russia's aggression. He described the strike as an act of terror and highlighted the indiscriminate nature of the missiles, which were reportedly packed with cluster munitions. Witnesses recounted harrowing experiences during the attack, with one woman narrowly escaping death while seeking shelter with her child. World leaders, including UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron, condemned the violence and called for an immediate ceasefire. The attack has intensified calls for international intervention in the ongoing conflict, which has been rising civilian casualties and humanitarian crisis. India's opposition Congress Party plans nationwide protests following charges of money laundering against senior leaders Sonia and Rahul Gandhi. The Enforcement Directorate accused them of using a shell company to illegally acquire properties worth over 20 billion rupees, which is $233 million, connected to the National Herald newspaper. The investigation initiated in 2021 after a complaint from BJP member alleges the Gandhis used party funds to take over Associated Journals Limited, which published the National Herald. The newspaper ceased operation in 2008 but was relaunched digitally in 2016. President Trump has threatened to revoke Harvard University's tax-exempt status after freezing over $2 billion in federal funding. This decision follows Harvard's refusal to comply with the administration's demand to change its hiring and teaching practices to address anti-Semitism. The Trump administration claims Harvard has not met necessary conditions for federal investments, insisting on measures like reporting students deemed hostile to American values. Harvard President Alan Garber defended the university's independence and First Amendment rights, describing the demands as government overreach. The incident has sparked backlash from Congress and Harvard faculty, who have filed a lawsuit against the government alleging violation of academic freedom. This conflict underscores ongoing tensions between Trump administration and allied universities regarding free speech and political influence. Thank you for joining us today on Jumbo News Global Recap. That's what we had for the week. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.